Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
So my visit to Amsterdam has been very eventful. We were arriving on Friday after traveling for I think 7 hours from Berlin. It was a very smooth journey, and we had a little mantra chanting and inauguration of a big event for our yatra here on Friday evening. It was an inauguration for the Saturday event. We were in a beautiful church, and we were invited there. Not invited, you can rent the church, but the people who own the church were just very open, and they said, we can see that you are worshipping the same God, but with a different song. So that was very well attended. I think most of you must have been there for at least a few hours. And then just now, this morning, we went into a meditation center in the midst of a beautiful park. I saw a few Buddhas there. And we did a workshop on the Holy Name. Now this will be our last program, Hare Krishna, for number 5, here in our Amsterdam temple. I think we have made all provisions for your air. These small windows are all open, or are they still?
Trying to arrange a fan also for us.
Yeah. The fan just moves old air, and we need fresh air. I think we have opened is every possible window open there?
There's a few.
And there are so many we need air, especially when it's so free still. I thought today I would take you through the essence of the Bhagavad Gita in 4 beautiful shlokas. They are considered to be the essence of the mystic of Bhagavad Gita, and then I will give a short little explanation.
Make it louder.
Later.
In this part of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna describes himself in the most beautiful of ways. Before I start, we want to see that we have made all the practical arrangements. Now, do you insist to have the fan going? If you don't insist, I would prefer to have it not moving. Because I think it's yes, you are saving us. What wonderful technology you use. Well, this is better than we deserve. I see there is still another window, yes. In India, you would take palm leaves, sprinkle some water over them, and then make a cooling air. But here we have Amsterdam windows. It's better. All right, so everyone, please let us be focused. Krishna describes a little bit who he is. Then he will describe how his devotees in this world relate to them, to him. And then in 2 verses, he will say what he will do with those, or how he will reveal himself to those who are devoted to him. No? So first of all, let us understand something about the Lord. You can repeat after me. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mataha sarvam bhavatat pravartate iti matva yante ma Udabhava Samanvita. Please listen. I, Krishna, am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So, in order to illustrate how Krishna is the source of everything and how he maintains everything, he has given us the example of a pearl necklace. The pearl necklace has many pearls. These are wooden beads, and they are all kept in place by a string which is invisible, but which keeps them all there. If this string would not be there, these wooden beads which you can see now, so orderly presented, would be flying over the ground and would be disassembled. So in the same way as the string keeps everything together, Krishna keeps everything together, but more than that, he's also the source of everything. The park, the motorway, the ship hold, airport. he is the source of your parents, who are giving the biological ingredients for you. He's the source of all the souls in this world. He's both the source of material things as well as spiritual things. So those who know this, they have a particular way of life which Krishna describes in the next text. Please repeat after me. Machita Matgata Prana Udayanta Parasparam Katayanta Samang Nityam Dushyanti Cha Ramanti Cha. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. In another scripture, the Bhagavatam, it is said that those who are not devoted to Krishna have many subjects to talk about. The wars in this world, the political decisions, the new inventions, the quarrels and divorces. But someone who knows that behind everything, behind this world, is Krishna as the origin, they will think of him only and talk about him. Now, when I was young, there was a very popular song. It said, "You cannot petition the Lord with prayer. You cannot ask anything. God will always be very far away." Carl Gustav Jung, a psychologist from Switzerland, well known all over the Western world, used to distinguish between what he called the distant God, the God who's far away, who you can't reach with prayers, and the close God, that is the God who is in the heart and who responds to you. And here Krishna speaks of these two, he has spoken about these two concepts of God. If you think of him as the origin of everything, he may be very far away. He's beyond this cosmos also, of which he's the origin. But if you think of him as the object of your love, he is very close to you. He's right there in the heart, and he does something. What he does in relationship with his devotees is explained in the next verse. Please repeat again. It's so nice to repeat Krishna's words. It is a very sacred atmosphere. Tesham satata yuktanam Vajatam pritipurvakam Nadami buddhiyogam tam Yenamang upayanti te. Now Krishna says what he does in response to those persons who think of him always and who speak about him and who glorify him. He comes very close, you will see. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. You all have experiences of the GPS system, no? At least we have one. We have a fast line driver. His name is fast lane driver, I wanted to say. Ananda, he can drive faster than any race driver. And he has a GPS with a voice which has a very informal address and directs him very swiftly through all the shortcuts and sometimes warns him when there is a blitz light, that's that light which, this blitz is flash. When, how do we call this in here? Do you have them? Blitzer. Yeah.
Flitzer.
Flitzer. The flitzer, So the voice says, a flitzer is coming. Be careful. So it's a guiding system. Krishna is willing actually to come into our heart when we surrender to him and guide us. Now, I'm not sure that I will be able to fascinate your child today. What should we do? The child will become bored and will disagree with me on every point I make. Not because of any intellectual reason, but with speech. So, good. Thank you very much, Bhagavati. So, Krishna, in the heart, gives them the understanding by which they can come to me. He becomes the internal guiding system. I believe some of us here in the room have experienced this guidance when we were giving the inspiration, let me go to a temple on Sunday. Yes, it may be very full, but I might get some inspiration that is important for me at this level of my spiritual life, no? And in the next and last verse, he because this is a miracle, how God can speak to us in the heart, he makes this more Tesham evanukampatam aham agyanayam tamaha nashayam yatma bhavasto Yanadipena bhashvata to show them special mercy, I, who am dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. In other words, Krishna personally takes charge of the spiritual life of his devotees by giving them the right type of inner guidance and also destroying the obstacles in their spiritual life that come from ignorance. Now, my spiritual master has given a comment on this personal care of Krishna. He speaks about a person who may have adopted a spiritual master, who has maybe also gone to a spiritual institution like ISKCON, but who's somehow not intelligent enough to make advancement. I think we have seen such devotees who come and they want to make advancement in spiritual life, but they just can't move on beyond a certain step. So he writes about them. A person may have a bona fide spiritual master, and he may be attached to a spiritual organization, but if he is still not intelligent enough to make progress, then Krishna from within gives him instructions so that he may ultimately come to him without difficulty. So, this is interesting, isn't it? Krishna doesn't only speak as the super soul, as the Lord in the heart, to the devotees and guides them on their way. No, Krishna actually also is there with us when we are already in Krishna consciousness and we are not able to make sufficient advancement. The qualification for a person who wants to have guidance from within is that a person always engage himself in Krishna consciousness and with love and devotion render all kinds of services. And then Krishna will speak to him in the heart. So the distant God is the origin of everything which is there, and the close God, he is in the heart and he gives guidance to all living entities, and he also helps those who want to make progress in their spiritual life but who somehow can't do this. I want to speak about this second type of person who is already somewhat spiritually advanced, but he gets stuck. Why do we become stuck? This is only for the Sanskrit chanting. Why do we become stuck? I personally have observed that in my life, sometimes I am living only in my head. That is, I analyze the world with my intelligence, I judge people and situations with my, again, intelligence and mind. But spiritual life can only take place when you get from your head into your heart. Otherwise, with your head, you cannot understand the Lord. you can understand him with your heart. And I want to show you this. There is a beautiful example of this. Once Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to a place, I think it was Varanasi, yes, and he spoke the entire Vedic wisdom to a great scholar at that time, Sanatana Goswami. So when Sanatana Goswami had heard all the spiritual wisdom, he said to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, let whatever I have instructed all be fully manifest unto you. He knew that without the empowerment of the spiritual knowledge in the heart, he could not, will not be able to understand anything. The same is with Brahma. Krishna manifested the spiritual knowledge in the heart. Hrida, what is it? Tejo Brahma, no. Tene Brahma, Hridaye, Adikavaye, Mushantiyat, Suryahai. My dear everyone, spiritual knowledge has the potential to take you from the lowest level to the highest perfection. Yet this knowledge only will act if it touches your heart, not the brain. My spiritual master was once talking about the guru-disciple relationship. What is a good disciple? How does he approach his spiritual master? And he said, unless there is submission, the disciple has to be full of submission, and he has to render service, and he has to be curious all the time and inquire from his learned spiritual master. Prabhupada wrote, unless there is submission and service, inquiries from the learned spiritual master will not be effective. Because, again, head knowledge will not be able to help you. It must be realized in the heart. I remember there was once the decan or head teacher of the Benares Hindu University. I do not know if you have seen this university. It is almost like a little town. There's so many campuses, so many big buildings, and in the middle is a big temple of Lord Shiva. I've given lectures there, so I know. So the dean, means the leader, academic leader, came to one great spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and asked a complicated philosophical question. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said, I have no time to answer your question right now. Why don't you go to the temple and just stay there a little? So he came to the temple building, and the priest was in a terrible rush. He needed to do an offering, but the plates were not cleansed. And afterwards, he needed to make an arti, a ceremony, but the utensil, the brass lamps, were still used, not washed. They were still blackish from the smoke of the lamps which were there before. So he saw the scholar and said, "Can you please help me? I'm totally in the need. We need to wash the plates here and polish the brass." So the scholar said, "Well, I might as well kill the time, so let me do this." And when it was evening, he came back to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur to say that he was asked, so do you understand now? Do you have any further question? What was your question? And the scholar said, it's answered. How is it answered? Well, I was in the temple and I helped clean the brass and everything. Yeah, but how is this answered? Just by doing service? Yeah, it is answered. It is clear to me in the heart. My dear devotees, my dear friends, and my dear skeptics, and my dear distracted audience. I have to cover all of you. Many of you are not yet listening. When you are rendering service, then at that time the Lord will come in your heart, and from your heart He will enlighten you with spiritual knowledge by doing two things: by removing the clouds of ignorance, the clouds also of a bad mood, the influence of your egos, strong influence, and it will, the Lord will give you that understanding from within the heart. And as we have heard, this heart knowledge is more strong than the head knowledge. We know so many things. You have heard so many lectures. You have read so many scriptures. You have read so many wisdom texts. But has this helped you to act on the spiritual platform? Not always. Because it was arrested in your head, like a prisoner who's arrested in the jail. So we arrest knowledge in our head, and it's dead knowledge, it's imprisoned knowledge, it's not active, it doesn't help us. I have a friend who gives many seminars, and he covers subjects like forgiveness. So he gives these forgiveness seminars often in the association of for devotees of Krishna. Now all these devotees, he told me, have heard about forgiveness. They have heard about the need to be compassionate, the need to help others. But often they struggle still with bitterness, frustration, resentment, and the disability to overcome their own limitations. Again, this is an example of head knowledge which has not touched the heart and not changed or purified or transformed the heart. If you hear so much knowledge and you will not, and you don't act upon it because it has not yet convinced you in the heart, no? Then you have the danger of becoming apathetic. I can see this in those who are on the spiritual path for many years. They are members of various movements and organizations, and also of our own movement. They have heard so much, but because they were not able to put it into action, because it had remained head knowledge, therefore they become apathetic. Do you know the word what is the English word? Apathy. Yes, apathy. Apathy means, oh yeah, yes, but I can't do it. This apathy is something like acidic earth. And you have acidity in the earth. No seed which you put into the ground can grow and bear fruits. All the seeds which you put into acidic earth are killed by the earth and cannot give fruits. So, my dear everyone, we must be able to solve this and create in our heart a situation so that we can apply the transcendental knowledge. I think my first lecture I said to you, we are usually very good in knowing what we should do and very bad in doing it. Again the problem, head knowledge has not touched the heart and transformed and changed our attitude, our behavior, our motivation, all these qualities which are in the heart. So what can we do? I think we have to address the little word but. I know it would be good if I would do so and so, but I have no time. I know it would be good if I rise a little bit earlier in the morning, because that's when I can catch a lot of spiritual energy, but I go too late to bed in the evening. I know it would be good if I render more service, but I don't like the devotees of the Amsterdam temple. I know it would be very good if I read in the scriptures, but when I pick up the book, I'm just too tired and exhausted, and I can only read some daily news. You must look at your butts. You know already what you should do. That's good. Now you must deal with the butt. That little word which puts a question mark on anything and everything which you know you should be doing. There is there are two very nice ways how you can transform your butt into enthusiastic, yes, I'm going to do this. Spiritual experience and prayer. Ultimately, spiritual experiences are not under our control. They are given to us. However, I don't want to say but. However, spiritual experiences are very, very important. We have heard in our tradition that we should not demand God to appear before our eyes. However, there is a prayer. It goes like this: Jagannatha Swami Nayana Bhadragami Bhatu. One more time. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Bhadragami Bhatu. This means, O Lord of the universe, kindly be visible before my eyes. In this prayer, the devotee prays for the Lord to appear directly in front of him. But is this a good prayer? You might ask. We have heard we should not demand God to come before us. We should act in such a way that He will want to appear before us. We cannot demand this. So once my spiritual master was asked, is this a bona fide prayer that we pray for the Lord to appear before us and give us His direct sakshat darshan? And Srila Prabhupada answered like this. I've written it down because then only you will believe me. He said, unless the Lord reveals himself, how is it possible to go on with devotional service? We need a spiritual experience. We need to see the tenets, the tenets means the descriptions of the scriptures, to become true for us right in front of our eyes. That's very important. Our Keshava Maharaj has said, most of the devotees don't need more philosophy. They have heard enough. They now need a spiritual experience that confirms everything they have heard to be true. But such a spiritual experience cannot be generated. I'm giving now just one more podcast I have to do, 5 podcasts altogether. They are called Spiritual Experiences of a Lifelong Monk. And in this podcast, I think it's only possible to see it by subscription. I give it in an organization called Upbuild. In that podcast, I'm sharing with my audience spiritual experiences, and I'm telling them, I'm not telling this to you to brag in front of you. Oh, I'm so good, I saw this, I experienced this. No, this would not be valuable for you. I'm only sharing it to motivate you so that you become convinced and understand you can also make spiritual experience. So we always, there's a question and answer session, and then one president of the L'Oreal company, L'Oreal has to do with the body. Yeah, body shop, cosmetic shop, sorry. He asked, but how do we make a spiritual experience? And I said, this is the best question you can ask on this podcast. And I want to give you an answer, and I want to give the same answer here in the Amsterdam temple. The spiritual experience, as I said to you, are given, like here in the Bhagavad Gita. It is said to show them special mercy. I, Krishna, who's dwelling in the hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance, and I give them the understanding by which they can come to me. My dear everyone, this comes to a person who acts in the processes, in the sadhana of spiritual life. You can do some spiritual practices which you do regularly every day, and that will prepare the ground so that the experience is more likely to come. When you don't prepare the ground, you will not even recognize the spiritual experience when it's right before your eyes. You won't have the eyes to see it, just like a blind person. So these spiritual practices can bring you into a position where you can have a spiritual experience. I want to tell you my favorite short story. The student says, Master, what can I do to become enlightened? The master answers, as much as you can do to make the sun rise. Nothing. So he says, you cannot do anything to make a spiritual experience. So then the disciple, the student, is very agitated. He's very upset. He said, but then why do you tell us all the time? Chant, don't eat non-veg, tell us to read in scriptures, to worship, to do pujas, etc. If this doesn't make me enlightened, and then listen to the answer of the master. The master says, I'm telling you this so that you are not asleep when the sun rises. When there's a sunrise and you're asleep, you don't see it. So you will be interested to know that there is always a sunrise of spiritual life. Krishna is constantly there in the material world. If he would take his energies out of this world and he would remove himself from the world would become in disarray. It would, the pearls would, the atoms would stumble and everything would be finished. So Krishna is everywhere. He is already there. The sun has risen, but you are asleep. So spiritual practice makes you able to recognize Krishna's wonderful thing. And I have a second practice. The second practice is sincere prayer. My dear everyone, I believe in prayer. Everything which I have experienced, good in my life, came through prayer, not through my own strength. I think prayer is something where we make our heart softer. But when you pray, you have to make sure that the real you prays. Don't pray because you heard prayers is good to say. It has to come from your soul. It has to be soul deep. It has to be heart deep. It can't be only lip deep. Huh? And then there is an art in prayer. When you have said your prayer, the most important things happen when you are silent and when you listen. Prayers in the West is only known as one way. You say, oh, give me this, give me that, and so on. There are more enlightened prayers where you tell the Lord what is in your heart, what is your obstacle, and then you stop speaking, stop thinking, and just become patient to hear the answer or see the answer. See the answer means see the arrangements. Here in Dutch we all love, in Netherlands we all love Kadamba Kanada Maharaj. He is famous to have said, I have stopped to try to see the face of God. I want to see his hands. That means by which he makes arrangements for us. No? Arranges our lives. There are many writings on the wall, many signs in your life. So these are the two things I want to suggest to you to make your head knowledge, your theoretical knowledge, it's called jnana, into your heart knowledge, it's called vijnana, or realized knowledge, because it has changed your heart and opened the eyes of your heart. And what you could do is a spiritual practice, but don't think with your spiritual practice you can force or make the sun rise. That's not the case. You can only be awake so that you don't sleep to the beauties of spiritual life. And the second point is, I would like to suggest, because this is hard knowledge, you want to get the revelations of Krishna in the heart, to start praying. You can pray the prayers of great acharyas. I have a few. Would you like to hear a prayer which I like?
Yes.
I want to read it to you. Pratik will give me my bread back. It's here. I have always a prayer book with me. This has gone, it is already very old. Amara bolite Prabhu, tumi amamatra, bandhu dara sutta sutta, avadasi dasa. It means, for I know neither good nor bad. I only serve. I'm but a watchman, guarding the interests of your household. In India they have this watchmen and they take care of the household. They don't own anything, not even a pot, a single match they don't own, but they are guarding everything. So in the same way, the devotee thinks, I don't own anything in my life, but I'm just taking care of this. Then, Tomara ichaya mora, indriya chalana, shravana dashana grana, bhojana vasana. I engage my senses. My hearing. I hear about you, my sight. I see you go to the temple and see your deity. My smell, I smell the fragrance of your incense that is offered to you. And I engage my taste in eating the food that is offered to you. We will actually do this very soon. Yes. I do all this. I no longer do anything for the sake of my own sense pleasure. Your happiness is the essence of my life. No? So I'm singing these prayers. A few days ago I was still in Germany and I was sitting somewhere. I was sitting my rounds on a bench. Where we have our ashram. Our ashram is right on the side of a lake. This would be a beautiful Amsterdam temple, our ashram. Maybe we can fly it here to the park and park it next to a grass. So from there, from the ashram, I walk for 10 minutes and then I have there's a beautiful bench and I can look at the fields and I was just singing this song, and then when I was finished, there was Aurora next to me. Who's Aurora? Aurora is a big German shepherd. They're very dangerous, but she was just sitting next to me and hearing me singing. And the master of Aurora came. I hope you're not disturbed, but you sing so nice. What do you sing? Even my dog is attracted to you. I said, I'm not such a good singer, but I'm singing these prayers. What is the benefit? Well, it softens the heart, and then the heart becomes a place where genuine spiritual experiences are possible. I can only recommend to you, all of you, take some good prayers, chant them, and you will see how your heart softens and genuine spiritual experiences can happen, because you don't have any longer apathy in your heart, but deep interest. So I thank you all very much. I'm very impressed by you and your yatra is so attractive and so there's only one problem: we cannot find enough time to rest. And I wish you all the best for your spiritual advancement. Please continue to associate with the devotees and to offer your service. And please know, you want to make your heart into a place where Krishna can appear. And that happens by sincere devotional service, by sadhana, genuine spiritual practice, and also by praise. Huh? Is this alright?
Yes.
Hare Krishna. For those who want to know what we were reading from the Bhagavad Gita, it was from the 10th chapter, text 8 to 11. No? 8 to 11. You can read these beautiful pieces of knowledge. If you don't have a Bhagavad Gita, here is the place to get Bhagavad Gitas. They're not so easily available everywhere, but here is a good place. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
In the end, we can sing Jayandeva before we end the program, but you can sing if you want.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, my dear devotees, I'm the bearer of some serious information in our movement. We have a few very advanced souls, and one was left his body this morning at 9:22 even, you know the minute even, in Indian time. He was a very great soul, and it's interesting because Krishna has showed me the President of India, Prime Minister of India, who is really an amazing person. He's not just a politician, he's a very sincere spiritual person. I hear he wanted to go into an ashram and dedicate his life to ashram life, but then he had some saint told him no, he should enter the field of serving the society. No? And he wrote, Srila Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj was a revered spiritual icon, like a head figure, no? Globally respected for his unwavering devotion to Bhagavan Sri Krishna and his tireless service through ISKCON. His teachings emphasized the importance of devotion, of kindness and service to others. He also played a significant role in expanding the community service efforts of ISKCON, particularly in areas like education, health, and serving the needy. My thoughts are with all devotees in this tragic hour. Om Shanti. So it's a very, very nice message which, yes, he was, Gopal Krishna Maharaj had founded a few very good schools. One was the Bhaktivedanta Gurukul in Vrindavan. It's not in the Vrindavan town, but outside. It can be reached by highway, and it has a beautiful temple. It's a beautiful campus. I think he had this in mind, and yes, he opened temples all over Delhi, and somehow he was so sincere that people would just support him and help him to be able to open these mandirs or these temples. So he was very respected amongst the spiritualists of India, and it's very interesting. He had breathing problems, so he went into the hospital, and within a day, without struggling very much for his health, sometimes dying can be a long process, he just left the body within a day. I talked this morning with one of his disciples, Vrindavan Vinod, and I asked him, how do you take the news? And he said, the news has not yet reached my heart. I have not even cried a tear, nothing. It has only reached my brain so far, my head, because it happened so suddenly. So one day, nothing. It happened so suddenly. Yes, he was brought to Delhi, where many people who wanted to say goodbye from him came. There's thousands, 10,000, 50,000, really a lot, maybe 100,000 easily, for who could manage to come within a few hours. And then his body will be moved, or is already moved today. Tomorrow it will be moved to Vrindavan, where he will be given samadhi. For me, as someone who knew him and loved him, it's also very sudden, and I was very busy while I was with all of you. But when I go to Germany, I will do my grieving period. That's important. Grief is something which should not be suppressed. We should live this. And you may not know him personally, because you may not have been in India so often. But I can really tell you the world becomes a little bit more heavier when a great soul leaves. When the great souls are on the world, in the world is lighter. Can't we all feel this? When we meet devotees, we feel, no? Relief. No? Yes, because the devotees in this world take the burden away from this world. No? The heaviness, the dullness, the avidya really, the ignorance, the tamas, and the rajas and all. So yes, so I thought what we could do is we can sing the Anilo Premadana, you think? Maybe at the very end. But here I would like to just request all of you that you say a prayer. I will guide you. One moment. This was sent to you by Janata. Wonderful. Thank you. So what we will do is we will just chant one very simple mantra, the mantra Ram. There is a mantra, Shri Rama Nama Satya Hai. When a person leaves his body, you chant this mantra, Shri Rama, Nama, Satya Hai. It means only the name of Ram, and Ram is reality that stays. No? But we will chant it in a brief way, and then we will have about 1 minute silence where we pray for this great soul. This is done all over India and all over the world, and we want to also participate in it. And then I will request Neelambara to guide us how we continue the program, and at the end, perhaps Krishna can sing Ye Anilo Primadana. Yeah? So, please sit properly. Yoga sits very uncomfortable.
That's what you can take both knees if you
So we will say 3 times the simple mantra Ram, Ram, like this, and then there will be a silence for a minute where we can pray and so on. Those who have children, when the children become restless, you may give them some milk or something that they become peaceful. Deep inhale. Deep inhale. And last time. And now, in silence, we will say our prayer or our good wishes. Please let us do a deep inhale now and chant one more time. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for doing this. It's wonderful to do this. No? Yes. So I will now request Neelambara to address all of us. Hare Krishna.
small box, please. Small box. 10 or 15 books. Hare Krishna. The devotees, I apologize for not taking any questions. It's quite late in the day and Maharaj is tired. I want to give a bit of rest to Maharaj. Because if we start question answers now, we can go till very late already. Usually Sunday feast runs. Class is over by 5 o'clock. It's 7:30. Tomorrow is Monday. So, is it okay? If you have something burning, you really want Maharaj to talk to you, then Maharaj can be in the lounge. You can just come and meet. Please make it very brief. Don't sit for too long. Maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes. I don't know how many of you want to meet, but we can make an arrangement in the lounge. Yeah, so at least there is some access, but my humble request is please make it quick. Is that okay? Yeah, Hare Krishna. So let's thank devotees who have made this whole last few days possible. Are these Dutch or English? Did you say? Can you please just speak English books and give me some Dutch also? Please. Please raise your hand if you're here for the first time. We have some gifts for you. Have you come before, Giri? Yeah? Okay. Okay. Maybe you can come near and Maharaj can give you this gift. Yeah, this is a gift from Srila Prabhupada. So please tell your name. Thank you for coming to ISKCON Amsterdam.
Neeraj. Oh, you Neeraj. Thank you.
Prasanna Krishna.
Prasanna Krishna. For you. For you. All the best.
This is a fortunate lady here. She gets a Gita. You can come and get a Gita.
Yeah, for you.
Okay, Rhythm book.
Jyoti, yes.
Okay, this boy can get a book.
Ankana. Johan. Rohan. Wow.
Anyone else here for the first time? No. No, later. You can meet later, okay? Hare Krishna. Anyone here? Anyone else? First timers? No? Okay, great. So, we would like to thank a few devotees who have made this grand festival last many days, 3 days almost, highly successful. Starting with our decoration team in the temple, Sophia, Nanga Manjari, Radhiti Mataji, Nartaki Radha. Anyone else helped you in decoration? Chitralekha did today morning in the setup. Anyone else have contributed to this seva? Achi? No? This is it? Thank you so much. Today's wonderful day decoration and we can, I don't know if you are able to see our deities. Yes. Very wonderfully decorated.
Yes.
Yes. This is Rangaradhika Mataji.
It's like a forest, I think, no? Forest mood. Yes. Thank you.
This Nutya Radha is here. Thank you so much for all your decoration service. Hare Krishna. Also to other devotees who helped you in this seva. So Krishna Prabhu arranged all the flowers and all the shipments to be arrived at the temple and all the boxes and to-go boxes and the plates and spoons and everything. Today's feast, Sunday feast, was cooked by a big team of devotees. Vivek Prabhu, Kapalakant Prabhu, Aditi Mataji, Ganpati Anna and Bhavyaka and I don't know who all did in the afternoon, I have no idea. So let's thank all these devotees who are putting tireless efforts in bringing together ISKCON Amsterdam and all these festivals. I'm sure I'm forgetting many more, but before I end, I also want to thank Ron and Raghav Pandit and Manik Prabhu for their tremendous efforts in putting Amsterdam Kirtan Mela year after year. Of course, I'm a part of the team also, but it's because of Ron. Mostly he drives the team. He's very enthusiastic.
Yeah, I can see.
Yes. So we really hope and pray that this mood of Kirtan and heart transformation and heart surgeries continue to happen in Amsterdam. Quick survey, how many of you were there yesterday in Kirtan Mela? Okay, many of you. Did you feel your heart, some little surgery happened? Little bit at least? If not, yeah?
Yes.
That's not very confident guess maybe. Did it really happen?
Yes!
I would disagree because the real surgery will happen once you leave this room today. Right? Because Maharaj is here in holy association. It's very easy for our mind to sort of get lashed into something and then the real surgery will start happening if we have taken the whole medicines properly and if we are continuing to take the medicine properly. It will happen from the time we step out of the temple and will continue to happen in our hearts. So that's our really a wish and a hope and prayer that through these programs in ISKCON Amsterdam, we touch people's hearts. This is what we want to do. We want to touch the hearts of people and then bring it near to Krishna. And we do that without any personal motive or we don't get anything out of it. So it's a sincere desire from the Temple Board of Amsterdam and all these devotees who help in this service in order to Srila Prabhupada, which is the mission of Srila Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who are our presiding deities here. Sri Karunatha Gaurachandra, they have come to Amsterdam for this specific purpose. They want to touch the people of Amsterdam, touch their hearts, and bring them closer to Krishna. So that's our wish. Let's thank all these devotees. So many of them, so many devotees hosted visiting Kirtaniyas, give them a ride. People are still continuing to host. A big team is just cleaning and whole day morning to evening just cleaning the temple kitchen. Yesterday even our Berlin boys helped in temple kitchen seva. Thank you all. I don't know how many of you know here. There are like four or five. Five. It's complete again. Okay. So 5 boys from Berlin have come from, of course, Berlin, and then from the ISKCON Berlin, and then they have given their hearts and their services and their smiles and laughters and dance and a lot of kirtans. Thank you so much. Really grateful. We hope that you come back. This is your home also. Yeah. So the theatra is 13th of July. And I hope that there is a bus coming from Berlin. and we will come to your theatra maybe afterwards. Yeah? Let's make it. By the way, I went also Berlin a few times, so they're reciprocating now. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming here. Saving the best for the last, Gaura Krishna Prabhu and Sacinandana Maharaj. Thank you so much, Maharaj. Your association here, it just transforms our hearts. At least for the time being, we are all Amsterdam Vasis. Our hearts are very hard. It's not smooth and soft. But your presence, your association here, at least breaks some shells outside. Then we hope that you keep coming more and more and more. You were reciting Jagannatha Swami Dayana Padagami Bhavatuve Maharaj. Our Theatra is 13th of July. Sincerely, we should pray to you that maybe you can at least put it in your diary. Yeah, maybe there is a possibility of you coming here and take Amsterdam also as your home and keep blessing us, Maharaj. It's.
I really think that. Amsterdam and Berlin, that's where I'm associated with the Berlin temple. I live close there. I really think that Amsterdam and Berlin can become like sister temples, or brother temples. I don't know how they call them. You are aware, not that in different countries there are
brother cities or something.
What are they called? Do you know? Satellite cities, perhaps, or something that is connected in some way. And London also.
Definitely.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Maharaj. Really grateful. We close our. Mukunda Gopal Prabhu was here. I don't know if he's still here. Thank you, Mukunda Gopal Prabhu, for coming. He's a senior devotee in our yatra. He's served in Amsterdam for many years before. Shishtakrit Prabhu is here. Thank you, Shishtakrit Prabhu, for amazing kirtans. You just met him last month, I think, right? You came 1 month ago. It was the first association with Shishtakrit Prabhu. And devotees liked him a lot, and he was interested to come and be part of our Kirtan Mela. Thank you so much for coming and blessing with your association. Thank you so much. Let's thank all these devotees by loudly chanting Hare Krishna mantra 3 times. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much, dear devotees.